Hey y'all, can you hear me? Because I hit go live, but I don't actually know if it worked. I hope it did. Oh, okay, you guys can't hear me. Okay, that's good. There was like a bunch of delays, so I was like, I don't know if you can actually hear me, but I'm glad you can. Hey everyone, happy Saturday. Oh my god, it is Saturday. Happy Saturday evening. At least for me, I know for some of you it's already Sunday. And happy Thanksgiving, yes. I am Canadian, so we had our Thanksgiving in October, but I very much did partake in some Black Friday shopping. Hey Crossfighter, hey Royal Knight, hey Rabbit, hello everyone. It is not Sunday, I'm sorry Storm Eagle. Sorry for stressing you out there. But yeah, today I went and visited my sister at university. She is living in a dorm, so me and my family went to go visit her. I did a bunch of Black Friday shopping. I spent way too much money in the past few days. Y'all don't... If y'all were to see my credit card bill, ooh, I am not excited to pay that off this month. But anyway. Oh, happy birthday, Crossfighter! Glad to hear you had a great time. Okay, just setting up some stuff in the background, and then we will get started with, what's it called? The stream! Yes, that is what we're gonna get started with. Alright, we should be good to start, actually. I hope you guys are all having a great day, but yeah, I'm just gonna jump right into this because we've got a lot of units again this time. Once again, I capped off the stream at 70, but the way the stream works is that if you're in the stream, like if you manage to open the submission link before before it hits 70, it will still let you submit if you were already on the page from before. So yeah, so we got more than 70. Hey Chris, hope you have a good day. Chris is asking, how would you sell the idea of a second-hand store getting in Effie Cypher cards to sell? Honestly, like, I don't know if they're popular enough to do that. Like, if you could find maybe some cheap ones on Etsy or something, that could work, but I know that they're like not in circulation anymore, so you'd have to get second-hand ones. But yes, let's get started with the reviews because I've got a ton. So, first up we've got this Nils from Logan. Logan's description is, my handsome son can't wait to plus 10 him. So yeah, obviously this is a really good build. I honestly wasn't expecting Nils to be free to play. Like, I thought we would be getting a Halloween Nils because we got Ninian last year, but I'm really surprised that they gave us such a good free to play dancer. Honestly, I wouldn't really change anything about this build. I mean, he's a very good combat unit. He's really fast, so he doesn't really need QR, and you're really doubling down on that res damage reduction. You could go for like Dragon's Ire 4 or Dragon's Wrath 4 or something, but I think this is really good as is. Oh, the one thing that I guess is a change is you can actually refine the arcane weapons, so, you know, if you wanted to go ahead and maybe like res refine him, because his res is a little bit on the lower side, so I think he could use all those extra 4 points of res. I think that would help a lot. Hey, Penrost! Alright, on to the next one. We've got from Cheryl. So this Hilda's a little bit zoomed in. Let me see if I can zoom out of her a little bit. So that's a little bit better. Yeah, that's better. Cheryl says, I know she's a vile human being, but her art and voice got me. She just has a normal attack res stack build trying to one-shot with her dominance effect, and she can tank a lot of mages and kill them back. And also Cheryl wrote, hi future me. Yeah, like I think Hilda is one of those units who honestly really flew under the radar. Like, she has straight up dominance in her weapon and it is insane. Like, what other units other than Bride Micaiah, and again, she gets stopped by Duo's Hindrance, like, what other units can do that? I think she's the only one. And actually someone mentioned in my comments the other day that Yoon is an amazing partner for Hilda. Like, just think about that. Think about how hard that would hit. Like, oh, did Yoon get dominance in her refined too? I honestly did not. I was not paying attention. But yeah, like, isn't that crazy? Like, imagine her with Yoon. I really don't know if I would change anything. Like, you could, if you really wanted to be funny, you could probably speed stack, but there's probably no point, because you're probably one-shotting anyway. And just, like, her speed is kind of low to begin with, so... yeah, I don't know. I think this is really good. I don't really have any suggestions. Yes, I did know Yoon can get 100% DR. I did know that. It is very scary. I don't know why they didn't cap it at 80, but anyway, here we are. You have a speed build for her. Okay, that's cool. Good to know. Speed heart vibes. Thank you for the submission, Cheryl. Alright, next from Clara. I'm gonna zoom back in again. So we've got this Naesala. Clara says, I love Naesala so much. He gets some awesome kills in arena. He's so good that it can actually be a hindrance, not getting enough hits to proc Gale Force. Clara also says she wants to get attack speed hold and attack speed near trace for him. Wow. Yeah, like, Naesala, his refine is just... he got such a good refine for a free-to-play unit, honestly. Like, one of the best ones in the game. And if you guys watched Levin Seti, I know he uses Naesala a lot, too. So yeah, I mean, the blue duel's obviously for arena, but you could give him as the A skill if you really wanted to go all out. An interesting option might be Clash. Attack speed Clash, if he can run it. I don't actually know if Flyers can run it. But if they can, I do think that would be really good on him. But yeah. This is awesome. When is the next Mythic Legendary banner reveal? It should be either tomorrow night or Monday night, but it's probably Monday night. Alright, on to Shiny's Chrom. So, this used to be Shiny's ARO dodge tank way back when, but now with speed creep and stat creep and all that, he can't really do it as much. Totally fair. And Shiny also notes that his Resplendent isn't free to play, but even without it, his max invest gets pretty speedy. Yeah, like, I think Chrom is one of those units who is a very good, like, unit if you plus 10 them, because his refine is so good, but he hasn't aged the greatest just because his res is, like, god-awful, and his speed is pretty bad even at max invest. So he used to be a lot better than he is now, but I still think he can be really good on, like, niche team comps. I've actually found it interesting to attack and defense stack my Chrom, because I was trying the speed build on him, but it just wasn't doing great for me. So you could try that. But yeah, Arcane Sword is also technically an option, although I know that can be kind of expensive fodder. Yes, he can get really tanky. But yeah, no, I agree, Darted. I use him in limited hero battles a lot too. Alright, next from Hundwee, aka Hundley. We've got this Benny, who was on the thumbnail, who, if you remember, which probably, like, none of you remember, but way back when in Ether raids, I used to run a Picnic Lucas with this exact build, because it is extremely anti-meta. It is so good against a lot of the common meta threats like Brave Erica, Thor. Basically how it works is with its curtains. Basically, he activates that Ignis instantly in the first turn with Steady Breath as well. So, yeah, he just gets off an instant Ignis that will kill Thor, will kill Brave Erica, all these units who would be able to kill him if they doubled. So, yeah, it is a very good build. I can say that I've tested it myself. It is really, really good. So yeah, if you're looking for an ARD build to make sure that you don't die to a lot of the common one-range nukes, maybe consider this. You can also do this with, like, Cervantes, or really any other Lance armor, but it is very good. Oh yes, also, his name is Bernard, it's not Benny. Don't ask why. Yes, Brave Seliph can tank this. You know, I'm not counting Brave Seliph. Like, Brave Seliph, yeah, will survive this, but Brave Seliph also won't really be denting this with that, like, 1,000,000 defense. Oh yeah, also the special spiral is there to keep up his Ignis every turn after the first round with its curtains. So yeah. Thank you for the submission, Hunley. Alright, next is from Kyo. So this is Kyo's Linus. Kyo says he's always been one of my favorites, and I'm sad to this very day that he and his brother have not gotten an alt yet. He may not be the winner of the meta in Fae, but still the winner of my heart. And also Kyo says, thank you for the opportunity, stay safe and well, bestie. Thank you, bestie, I hope you are doing great as well. So yeah, obviously Arcane Downfall is amazing, such a great addition for any axe unit that doesn't already have a really good weapon. Yeah, I think, like, I get why you have null follow up there, but it feels maybe a little bit redundant, just because you already have, like, he's fast, and you don't have, like, you have foe cannot make a follow up in Arcane Downfall, so, I might swap out the null follow up seal, but I mean, if it works well for you, that's great. But yeah, this is really good. I mean, Vital Astra instantly activates with Time's Pulse and Arcane Downfall, which is very helpful. You know, Royal, I don't actually know what Fanged Basilicos does, but I don't think it's too good. I really don't think it's that good. But yeah, thank you for the submission, Kyo. Alright, from Ritsu, we've got this Sara. Oh, she is very zoomed in. Let's zoom out. She's large. There you go. So, Ritsu says, I am but a poor and humble free-to-play player. Cry emoji. Meanwhile, they've got the resplendent Sara. So, yeah, I mean, this is a very good build. As far as infantry staffs can get, this is really good. I don't actually know what Observant Staff does. Does anyone know what it does? Because I actually don't know. But I do think that this is a very good offensive build. Yeah. Blade Session is interesting. I guess you really are just using her as a player-phase nuke, which is kind of cool. Oh, thank you, Jimmy. Also, hi, Jimmy. +6 Spectrum. Wait, Observant Staff gives you +6 to all stats? Oh, but it requires 2 nearby ally-supported units. Interesting. Huh. But +6 to every stat is very good for a staff, so yeah. Aside from that, obviously, I'm sure you already have Dazzling Staff on her, but Null Follow-Up is quite good. So yeah, I don't really have any other advice. I don't know if healers can use menaces, but that would be another option. But yeah, thank you for the submission, Ritsu. Alright, from Knight, let's zoom back in. We've got this Yen'fay. Knight says, the build for Yen'fay isn't anything special, but it gets the job done. He was also the second unit I got to +5 merges, so he kind of has special meaning to me. That's nice. This is, you know, it's a very good Yen'fay. He's one of those free-to-play units who, even though he might not be the best unit out there, I still think he's very good. Really, the only thing I would change is maybe the null follow-up seal, as chat is saying. That could be good, but you could also give it to him in his B slot, but lull also works. If you wanted to, like, triple down on his damage reduction, you could give him spurn or something, but yeah, this does the job. And if you do have something like, for his C skill, like a menace would be really good, speed smoke 4, attack smoke 4. I know those are all very expensive skills, and I don't expect everyone to have them, but if you do, and you ever feel like spoiling him, could be really good. Oh, hi, Corgi. No, you have not been covered yet. You are very close to... You're, like, in the next few. Yeah, velocity would be good too, but like velocity is way more rare than any of the other dodge skills. Hey, LV Bentley. All right, from my ghostwriter Bluekins. I must specify that he wrote that in the name section. I'm not just saying that. He says daughter. So this is his Illyana build. I think he just picked up the Forma and got attack res finish. Unfortunately, attack speed finish was not in the pool yet at the time, so he just had to go with res finish. Attack speed 04 is also really cool. Lull speed res is great. Null follow-up is great. Like, I don't really have any suggestions. I mean, Arcane Blue Tome is the only thing that I think would really, really take this to the next level, and then you might not even need no follow-up seal. But yeah. Actually, I'm realizing, like, the way that they're making all of these arcane weapons so far is that they all work on every type of unit. Like, they work on fast units and on slow units. And so I don't think they would ever release an arcane weapon with straight up null follow-up in it, because that wouldn't really work as well for slower units. So I definitely think they're going to stick with the guaranteed follow-up, and also the, like, negates foes follow-up. I think those are effects that are going to be in every single arcane weapon we see. Yeah, just a random thought that I had. But yeah, this is a very good Illyana. Thank you for submitting your daughter, Blue. Alright, from Cassie, we've got this Henry. So we've got Unity Blooms, which I think is pretty good. I think as far as red tomes go, it's quite good. Okay, y'all are mentioning Arcane Downfall can't be used on every axe, but keep in mind, Arcane Axe comes on a unit who also has QR4. So it's like, they're telling you, like, yeah, maybe this axe doesn't have a guaranteed follow-up, but if you are a slow unit, literally just run the QR4 in her base kit. So, yeah. Arcane Red Tome. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, all the tomes, I think it'd be cool if they did, like, a Arcane All Tome, like, all colors. I just don't know if they would actually do it. Cheryl mentions Henry's Refine is kind of nice. It gives guard. Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that. But yeah, the Unity Blooms is also quite good. Yeah, Henry has really good defenses, and I like that you're doubling down on that. I think Attack Smoke 4 is a really good pick on him because he is slow. I think Mystic Boost 4 is also a really interesting pick just to make him even harder to kill. So I think this is awesome. This is great. I remember seeing some people run into, like, super stacked Henrys and Ether Raids a couple years ago and just, like, timing out because they just could not dent him. So I think this is really cool. Arcane All Tome, and then we start seeing Bramamond with it. I mean, I do think Bramamond needs, like, something to revive them. Like, they're not very good anymore. And I don't know when their remix is gonna be. Funny Henry who keeps healing to be annoying. Yeah, pretty much. I think that's great. I think that's awesome. Alright. Thank you for the submission, Cassie. It's cool seeing... You know, I think it's really cool, this edition being, like, the free-to-play one. Just because, like, a lot of these units, like, a lot of unit reviews, people submit their 5-star exclusive plus 10 units, which is totally fine. Like, obviously, I have a lot of respect for those and whatnot. But I like seeing less used units. I think it's great. From Augusto, we have got this Tethys. Augusto says, I use her on Ether Raids to debuff and get rid of Sonya and Lilina's AoEs. Any way to improve her more? I think this is super solid. Pulse Tie and Tamari are really good. The C skill, maybe you could give her something like Infantry Null Follow-Up if you have the fodder for it. Some other kind of supportive skill, perhaps. But if you do need the infantry pulse on someone, then it is really good. But I do think there are a couple of other options you would give her, like infantry flash, infantry breath. I honestly don't know all of them, but I do think there are potentially some other options for the C skill, but this is very good. Someone also says maybe HP res seal. Yeah, that might be better, because, I mean, her HP is pretty high. Actually, no, her HP is pretty high. Like, all the units who she's trying to pulse down, like Legendary Lilina and whatnot, I don't think they're going to have more HP than this, especially since she's got mythic buffs as well. Canto control could also work, yeah. Although, yeah, that wouldn't be as good on AR offense, but could be good on ARD and in summoner duels. Perhaps this to soak Dark Shrine. That's a good point, Cassie. But yeah, this is super solid. Alright, from Blaz69, we've got Speedy Bonto. Oh my goodness. Thank you for submitting this, Blaz. I was not ready to see this. I don't know if I will ever be ready to see this, but this is awesome. This is exactly the kind of builds I was envisioning when I made this theme. So, let's see. Blaz says he definitely needs a speed-based A skill. Other than that, he kills a lot of meta units with ease with this build. This is super cool. Wow. Attack speed oath is such a cool idea. Wow, you really put a lot into this unit, and I respect it. I really do. Arcane Grima also obviously a very good weapon. I think they really popped off with the dragon weapon, probably a little bit more than they had to. Like, it definitely feels like the strongest of the arcane weapons so far, if I had to pick. But yeah. Yeah, like you mentioned, the A skill, if you could switch to something like Kestrel Stance, or even Attack Speed Finish, I think would be so good on him. But yeah, I mean, this is really cool, and I don't think I've ever seen a Speed Bonto before. Yes, I agree. Arcane Grima only coming with armor skills is quite annoying. Hey Luna, I mean, if you got on the list, like if you were able to submit your build, you will definitely be shown in the stream, because I'm not stopping until I get through all of them. Okay, so yeah, actually, let's speed it up a little bit. Let's move through these a little bit quicker. So from Owl, let me zoom in a tiny bit. We've got this Basilio. So Owl, if y'all don't know, Owl is a massive Basilio fan. Owl, I think, technically quit Fae. Like, Owl quits Fae on a semi-regular basis, but they don't play super often. But anytime a new Axe exclusive or, like, a new skill that Basilio needs shows up, they will log back in and get that for him. So they just picked up Arcane Downfall. Yeah, this is really strong. Owl says, I wasn't sure about Arcane Downfall at first, but it's honestly made him so good, it's insane. No follow-up seal since he's mostly enemy phase, and Attack Smoke 4 and QR4 deal with any potential follow-up shenanigans. Okay, so the first thing that I'm thinking while seeing this build is I don't know if Attack Smoke 4 is like doing anything for you, considering Arcane Downfall already has one layer of foe cannot make a follow-up. I don't think the second layer of it is doing much for you. So something you could do is give him Speed Smoke 4 instead. I think that would be really good. But yeah. Or if you give him Time's Pulse, he could have Vital Astra ready right away. But it kind of feels like a waste, I guess, considering the breath effect and Arcane Downfall, so maybe not. But yeah. Very cool. I'm glad you got this new toy for your Basilio. And I hope someday he gets an alt. Oh, hi, Owl! You wanted Speed Smoke, but Gotcha said no. He will get it someday. That's fair. That's fair. I guess in the meantime, like, if you have maybe a Menace to buff himself and debuff the foes. Because I really don't think Attack Smokes... I don't think it's too helpful, considering Arcane Downfall already has that. Cheryl also mentioned you could go Attack Speed Oath. That's true. You could go Attack Speed Oath 4, but again, that is another pretty expensive skill, so, yeah. Alright, from Corgi, we've got this Muriel with a speedy Windsweep build. Whenever the Arcane Blue Tome comes out, is 100% going on her ASAP, but for now, Drifting Grace is the best option. So yeah, I mean, you're right, there aren't that many good inheritable Blue Tomes. Drifting Grace is really good. The Windsweep Null follow-up combo is awesome. I don't really have any suggestions. I think this is really good. I think if you wanted to go for more of like a little bit of a tanky build, you could give her Spider Plush instead. But I think for the offensive build, this is kind of the ideal set. I do think it's cool how the Null Follow-Up Seal enabled stuff like a Windsweep Null Follow-Up build, which in the past you needed Null Follow-Up in the weapon to do. So yeah, this is great. Thank you, Corgi. Alright, from Val. So we just finished with the members, now we are on to the non-member ones. So from Val, we've got this Gangrel. So Val says, I'm going to replace his A skill with attack speed or attack res catch when I get to it, so Fury is a filler. But other suggestions would be welcomed. So I think this is really good. Like you mentioned, attack speed. The thing is, you can't run catches on infantry, so you'd have to give him ideal instead. And we do actually have attack speed ideal 4 in the Divine Codes Part 3 from Louise pretty early in the line. I don't remember if it's first or second down the line, but that is an option. So you could give him that. Oh, Jimmy. Did we not do Jimmy's? Oh, Jimmy, your submission, you submitted after when other people had started to submit as well. So don't worry, you are on the list. But I didn't separate the member submissions, aside from the ones who submitted early. So we will still get to your build, don't worry. Okay, so yeah, what was I saying? Oh yeah, I would probably swap out Time's Pulse and Iceberg. Like, I get what you're going for, but maybe like a Menace or Attack Speed Oath, I think, would really be good instead. I honestly don't remember what his weapon does, so I'm kind of just ignoring that. But, I mean, yeah, I would probably give him Attack Speed Oath if I had to pick. Or Attack Res Oath, that could work too, yeah, but I mean, he is speedy, so he could probably use that speed. Oh, he has res-based true damage? Huh. So I guess Attack Res Oath actually could be quite good. But it's only on Arvel, and I don't know if I would recommend foddering off an Arvel rather than just using them, so... But yeah, I do think Attack Speed Oath is very, very good. And then maybe as his A skill, maybe you do give him something like Attack Res Catch then. Yeah, I do think buffing his res more would be helpful then in that case. I did not realize he had res-based true damage. So I think, yeah, if you just basically manage to pump up his speed and res attack a little bit more and maybe swap out the A skill, I think that would be really good. Finish is also an option as well. I do know it's a lot rarer though, so harder to get, but if you do have a spare Tiki. Alright, from Arata, we've got Jeralt, a true blade breaker Jeralt. That's what Arata said. So, yeah, this is really good. I mean, he's got the catch, the trace, attack smoke 4. Yeah, you're really just doubling down on his attack and defense, which I like. You did go plus speed though, and I know like he already has the guaranteed follow-up, I believe. But I do think maybe if you could give him like attack speed catch instead, that could be cool. If you do want to go for like a speedy build to have almost like a soft null follow-up, because he's got the guaranteed follow-up, and then you've also got more speed, so you could do that. But I think this is really good, and I see you're just waiting for the last copy, so that's cool. But yeah, he's very good. Attack Smoke 4 is a really good pick on him. I probably would swap out the catch. I'm not the biggest fan of the catch seals. I think something like Solo or Form might be better, but I mean, catch also works. Alright, on to Spud. We've got this Eliwood submitted with no description. So we've got Shell Lance, which I don't really know what it does. If I recall correctly, it's not that good though. Got DC, Vengeful Fighter, Attack Smoke, and Armored Boots. I think there are definitely a couple other lances you could use instead, like maybe Courtly Candle. I know he's fast, but there are still some units who will guarantee double him, so that's an option. I'm sure there are other ones too. I'm kind of not really remembering, but there are probably a couple other lances. Yeah, okay, so Shell Lance is Spectrum +2 only on player phase. That doesn't work super well with like the Vengeful Fighter DC build, so I would definitely recommend swapping that out. But yeah, I mean, if you do manage to run him alongside another armor who's running Armor March, I do think he would appreciate a different seal as well. Like maybe like Defense Res Form or something. I do think you could do that. But yeah, thank you for the submission. Oh yeah, you could also give him a save skill. Also, Owain's Valentine's Lance is good for enemy phase, speedy lance units. Okay, thank you, Bastian. So yeah, if you do manage to get Valentine Owain's Lance maybe next year when he comes back, that could be a good pickup for him. Alright, next is Cece with their Cath. So, this is obviously great. I think Courtly Fan is still one of the better daggers out there, even though we do have the null follow-up seal now. So, if you wanted, I'm not saying you have to do this, but I think we got a Canto dagger. That could be an interesting pickup if you have a Soth, I believe. So you could give her the Canto dagger and then give her the null follow-up seal instead. But I do think this is really good, even just as is. I was going to say I would recommend Attack Speed Oath, but you already have Attack Speed Oath. So, yeah. Florid Knife, thank you, Cheryl. Yes, that is what it is called. But yeah, I don't really have any recommendations. And honestly, I have a spare Courtly Fan as well. And I am really eyeing Cath as one of my potential next merge projects. Because I'm nearing 999k feathers, and that's when it caps. So I will have to plus 10 someone soon. And I'm thinking a third Speed Heart might happen, but it's probably also worth building someone else instead. I'm totally sane. Very sane. Alright, next on to Penrust, who you guys are gonna love. You guys are gonna love this one. You're just gonna adore this. So, I saw this build, and I've seen Penrust's Merliness before, but sometimes it just amazes me to see it. So I asked Penrust. I DM'd Penrust, and I said, I gotta ask, does that Merliness ever meet the blade check? Like the heavy blade check? And they responded, occasionally. And then they were like, mainly thanks to the cleaner. Broadleaf used to be the better dagger, but nowadays a lot of units have penalty negation, but are still running around with buffs. Chat is saying this is the most build ever. One of the builds of all time. So true. So valid. But yeah, I mean, Penrust, I think you're in chat right now, so if you want to add anything more, feel free. But I think this build kind of speaks for itself. I hear it speaking to me. It's so loud. But yeah, thank you so much for your submission. These are the kind of units we love to see. Yeah. I'm not even gonna give any advice, because this is peak performance as it is. Alright, from Nazo Harmonia, we've got this Ares, who's not a unit you see very often, so it's cool to see one submitted. And they say, my first ever plus 10, my son Ares. He's pretty much stood the same over the course of his Fey life, but I've been trying to update with him with stuff as the game went on. Any advice is appreciated, OC. Of course, thank you for looking at my son. So I mean, I think this is pretty good. I think maybe if you do have attack, defense, menace, that would be better, just so that you can buff his attack as well, because debuffing the foe's res I don't think is super helpful. You could also give him the A skill. I think Distant Ferocity is the one from Duo Duma. You could also give him, I think there's another distant counter that also deals 5 damage and gives attack. Maybe I'm remembering wrong. Is it from Legendary Shida? I don't know. Distant Storm. Thank you, Rabbit. That's what I'm talking about. So yes, I think that could be a cool option on him, because then that helps him get into Vantage range a little bit easier too. But it's definitely not a necessity, and I know both those units are quite limited. Oh, Duo Chrom also has it? But Duo Chrom's is the close counter version of that, right? Not distant counter. Or are they the same? There's no way they're the same, right? Also, Pigeon Leader. Roasting your units live, but be respectful. How does that work? Well, it works in the sense that I'm doing clickbait. I'm not actually roasting your units. I'm being respectful towards your units and giving respectful suggestions. So, yeah. I just don't like insulting people's builds. Even if I do feel like there's stuff that could be improved. Hope that clears it up. But yeah, that's really, like, the only thing I would change. Maybe the seal, if you're already going with a Vantage build. Maybe give him attack defense. What is that skill called? Brazen attack defense. Yes, that could be really good. Close saliva. Oh. I don't like that at all. I really don't like that, Jay. I gotta be real with you. Thank you, Peach MILF. Am I that old that I can be called mother? Either way, I appreciate it. But thank you. Yes, thank you for the submission, Nazo. Alright, from Ryan, we have got this Camilla submitted with no description. First of all, based Camilla user. Slay. Arcane Downfall, already there, really good on her. Yeah, this is a pretty good all-around tank. I did not realize she could get that fast. Promise got that mom friend energy. Thank you, Rabbit. That is the nicest thing someone has ever said to me. Hi, Blue. I'm a graduate. Guys, I feel so old. I just visited my sister in university today, and I feel so old. That used to be me, but not anymore. Never again. I will never be doing grad school. Or I might get an MBA someday, but anyway, that's neither here nor there. Let's talk about this Camilla. I think Speed Smoke 4 is actually quite decent on her. Yes, I agree. Camilla needs a Resplendent. I've already told myself if she gets a Resplendent, I will plus 10 her right away. My biggest issue with base Camilla is I don't like her art. I just don't really like it. Something about the face just looks off to me. So I will not plus 10 her unless she gets a Resplendent. Hey, Sharina Lover. What's the new game that you bought? Is it the Pokemon game? I've been playing it a bit. I've been having fun with it. I want to see her other eye. Impossible, Ratmaster. You're not allowed. But anyway, back to the Camilla. The only thing I might change is Kanto could be helpful, but I don't know how helpful it would be. B skill, I don't know, maybe you could give her quick riposte 4, but she is already pretty fast. But, you know, she's actually not that fast now that I think about it. Something like QR4 could actually be helpful. She's around as fast as my Summer Innis, actually a little bit slower, and I still like the QR4 on him. Yeah, Ruptured Sky could also be good, but this works. Alright, on to the next one. We gotta speed these up a little bit. We've only gotten through 20, and it's been like 30 minutes. Alright, from Alfrik Fan. We've got this Alfrik. As the name suggests, they submitted an Alfrik. So, Alfrik Fan says, I really like Alfrik. He was one of my favorite Three Houses characters. I made this build so he could tank anything magical, and he does that really well, usually taking 0x2 damage. He's really versatile, and I can use him in any mode. Okay, defense res smoke is like such a flex. I'm curious if you ever actually use the Kanto. Like, you know, the, or is this the one with the Kanto built in? I don't remember. But either way, I think this is really cool. I think having Ruptured Sky up with Special Spiral is, honestly, Special Spiral I still think is underrated. Like, myself included, I don't really look at Special Spiral as something that I use on units frequently, but I think it's quite good. Okay, guys, when I said Kanto, I meant Pathfinder. I don't know why I said Kanto, so thank you all for confirming that it is in fact Pathfinder. I've had a long day. But yeah, I don't really have any suggestions other than maybe if you do want to go for a speedy build, he does have the speed to perhaps pull that off. So that would be an option, to send his speed instead of his res, and then just give him speed-based skills. But I do think having that really high res tank is also quite good. Bluekins, if you do not stop about my age, I'm going to tell chat how old you are. I'm going to tell chat what year you were born in. That is a joke. I'm not actually going to dox Blue. But needless to say, he is older than me. Yeah, Attack Res Menace is another option. But I do think defense res smoke is more of a flex. Alright. Oh, I just accidentally opened up the same Alfrik again. From Luna, we have got this Ignats. I do think Luna was in chat earlier, so that's cool. Let's see what Luna has to say. I use him only for far saving, so he's big on defense and res. He's the only unit I've ever spent orbs on specifically for fodder. 1,000 plus orbs. Wow. I like Ignats a lot. That's awesome. That's really cool. This is quite good. Very good. Defense res form would be another option over distant defense, because I do believe distant defense only gives you +6, whereas form relatively easily will give you +7, so that's an option. Aside from that, his speed I would say is maybe a tiny bit low, so if you could somehow pump up his speed a bit just to get more consistent savvy fighter procs, like you could give him, instead of distant defense, you could give him speed defense form or speed res form. That would be an option. But yeah, I do think this is really good. Lindius, it does not nullify his foes bonuses at the tier 3 version, only in the tier 4 version. So, yeah. Cheryl says maybe Mystic Boost. That would be an option. I just find that, I think he really needs the extra stats. I do think he would really, really benefit from having those extra stats. But yeah, thank you for the submission. Very, very cool. Alright, from Liliner, we've got this +10 Shida. Liliner says she's sister. Anyways, she kind of just instantly K-words all cavalry and armored units. Hi Ritsu. Yes, you missed the Bernard build, Hunley's Benny. So if you want to go rewind later, you can check out how cool that is. But yeah, this is a pretty good Shida. Yeah, I never really thought of, like, a player phase build for her, but now that I'm saying that, it makes so much sense considering she has, like, a flashing blade effect. I don't really know what I would change. Perhaps if you have Catch instead of Swift Sparrow. Or yeah, Surge Sparrow is another option, as Lindius points out, because you're running Iceberg, which boosts damage rather than something like Gale Force. You can actually run something like Surge Sparrow relatively well. Dive Bomb is another option as well, that's true. One of the flight skills could work too, just like the ones that have like null follow-up in them basically. I think that could be good. But yeah, I think this is really solid. And you don't see her very often, so thank you for submitting that. Alright, on to the next one from Bentley. They submitted this Orchid. Orochi. Why did I say Orchid? Guys, I am so tired. They've submitted Orochi. So yeah, this is really good. I don't really know what Tiger Spirit does. It's probably decent. But it's not like there are that many good tomes to give her anyway, so I think you're probably fine just sticking with it. Attack res ideal. If you're going with a speedy build, I would probably give her attack speed ideal if you have it. But yeah, I think this is pretty good. You might want to give her no follow-up as well. Like, give her maybe attack speed ideal in the A slot, and then no follow-up seal, I think could be pretty good. And if you really wanted to go all out, you could give her attack speed Oath 4, but I know that's expensive fodder. I do think that would be cool, though, if you really want to go with a speedy build. Alright, on to the next one from Bastion. We've got Bartre. Ooh, you really don't see him very often, so that's cool. Bastion says, I had to go through so many builds to counter Brave Edelgard and other non-blue meta armors, but the arcane weapon was a really easy option. Speed stacking to guarantee doubles on both phases versus middling speed units. I think that's very cool. I think that's great. I think maybe you could give him one of the better DC skills, like distant, I don't know what they're called. The ones that give speed. Distant pressure, distant dart, I think could be a decent option. But I do think this is interesting. Does Ether activate in one round of combat with this? I actually don't know if it does. If so, I would probably run something other than a Warding Breath. Maybe something to give him stats. Like attack speed, form or something. If no guard is present, Ether procs on the second hit. Does it? Okay. Well, I guess that's fine then. I suppose that's fine. But I guess another option could also be to give him the speed breath instead of warding breath, because his res isn't that good anyway. So I don't know if he's surviving that many mages anyway. But yeah, I mean, this is pretty solid. Another unit you don't really see very often. From Oh No, we've got Nana. Oh yes, Arcane Eleuthir gives slaying. That's what I was forgetting in the equation. But yeah. Okay, so we've got this Nana. They say, as soon as I saw this Nana, I knew I had to +10 her. She gives guard and defensive stats, which I use on ARD. I think this is great. I think for an ARD build, this is awesome. The double distinct guard, the Tannin baton for the guard. I think this is really good. I don't know if I would change anything. Yeah, I guess something like Restorer could probably mess you up, so you're probably better off sticking with no heal. Or you could give her a different heal, like not Restore. I don't know. I definitely feel like there are options to give her. Because I know like the Restore AI gets weird, but maybe Recover? Something like that could work. If you do want to run her as a standalone, like just a good offensive unit, there are better staffs you could run with, but I think as a support unit on an ARD team, the Drive Guard is very useful. So I would definitely just stick with that. Alright, from Mateo, we've got this Robin. So he's another unit who kinda, like, I think he was decent for a while. He's still decent, but I definitely think he could use an arcade weapon, really. Most blue tomes are kind of in that boat. But I do think this is an interesting build for him. I think he also just suffers from Gen 1 BST. Like, something like this on a Gen 5 infantry tome would be so much better, just because, like, Robin's an all-arounder, but because he's a Gen 1, like, none of his stats are that good. So I think he will really benefit from an arcane weapon. But I think this is pretty good. I think I would maybe, like, I get what you're going for with the double healing from Mystic Boost and Packed Blooms, but I would probably actually just give him a seal that gives him stats, because he probably struggles to like, he just doesn't have that many stats. So I think giving him extra stats would be really helpful, especially since your A skill is not really boosting his stats either, other than defense. So maybe something like attack speed form could be good. He has a PRF, yes, but it is really bad. I think it's like tactics. It's just giving people tactics, which is decent as a support unit, but I just feel like there's so many other ways to get buffs nowadays. You're probably just... Pack Blooms is fine. It's quite good. Alright, from Tunai, we've got this Saizo. This is pretty cool. Tunai says, this is my speed-based build. I mainly use this in Arena or PvE. I have other builds that work better for lethality. Yeah, for lethality, you'd probably be better off running like a blade skill or something, but this is pretty good as a general use build for him. Yeah. Solo 4, null follow-up. Yeah, this is really good. I don't know if his refine is good. I'm honestly not sure what his refine is. But I think I've seen people saying it's like at least somewhat decent. Another option would be to give him the null follow-up dagger or the Canto dagger. But if you do give him the null follow-up dagger, you could swap out his B skill for like a lull, perhaps. Oh, he gets bonus stats equal to foes' debuffs? That's decent. That's actually pretty decent. Okay. Yeah, I think that's actually quite good as far as, like, older refines go. So if you run him with someone like Yoon or another debuffer, I think that's really good. Alright, from Dry, we've got this Mordecai. I think a lot of people were really excited when this alt came out. Finally, some fan service for people who like men. For people who like buff men. So it's cool to see one. I don't really see them built super often. I do think Solid Ground. This is a really interesting choice for Solid Ground. Hi, Wiseblade. But yeah, I mean, Seal Defense is really interesting on him. I see you've got QR3 in his Seal. Another option would be if you do feel like giving him QR4 instead, but it's probably not really worth the fodder because you're missing out on the arcane weapon. But yeah, so you know what? This is actually quite good. Oh, okay. Mordecai already has follow-up negation of the weapon. Thank you guys for pointing that out. I didn't know. So yeah, attack smoke 4, you're probably not getting too much mileage out of it, just because, yeah, you already have that in the weapon. So another option, what would be another option for his C skill then? I really don't know. Y'all got any suggestions? I genuinely don't know what I would recommend for his, like, what good C skills are there for slow units who already have follow-up negation? Oh, Menace. How did I forget Menace? Thank you, Hunley. Defense, Rest Smoke. That's true. That's true, Pika. That could be interesting. But Menace is probably the easiest pickup for that. Did I count Summer Claude as free-to-play friendly? No, I'm not counting any 4-star specials. So I'm only counting Grand Hero Battle, Tempest Trial, or people who are in the 3-4-star pool. Kanto Control could be interesting as a supportive option. Rouse 4 could work as well, if you don't have, like, another way to get Null Panic or whatever. Ritsu suggesting Breath of Life. I disagree. But thank you for the suggestion, Ritsu. Does Sharina count as free-to-play friendly? You know, the way I defined the forum, you know, she is a free-to-play unit in real life, but she doesn't actually fit under the criteria that I defined. So I already told someone they cannot submit the Asker trio for this. But regardless, I mean, we're going to do a different theme next time. We're not going to do this theme again. So, yeah. Anyway, from Connor Zach, who is a fellow Feytuber, we've got this Violent. So Connor Zach is known for his love for Violent. So, yeah, let's zoom out a little bit. He's quite large. So Connor Zach says, feast your eyes upon the glorious rank 1 Violent in favor battles. He usually has null follow-up support. Thanks to his incredible looks and personality, he has never missed a kill. Don't forget to vote for him in CYL7. Hashtag Violent Sweep. So yeah, this is quite good. I think if he's got no follow-up support, there's really not anything else I would recommend for this. I really would not recommend the Arcane Axe if you're going for a player phase build, so I think Shuriken Cleaver is more than good enough. I don't know if you picked up a Harden, the new Harden, but I think that could be decent support for Violent as well, but I mean... And then, you know, actually, yeah, if you picked up the new Harden, Attack Speed Menace, you could probably swap that out for something instead, something else. But yeah. Also, yeah, thanks for pointing that out, Jay. Some sort of special charge for more special procs. You could run him with, like, Asker or something just to get his special down more, but this is quite good. Thank you for submitting your wonderful Violent. Alright, from Masquerade, we've got this Shida. Another Shida. We had another one earlier as well. So they say she screws over cavalry and armors, which is what she does best. She was the sole reason Fallen Edelgard was never an issue for me when she first arrived. That's cool. I personally struggled with Fallen Edelgard for a long time, so yeah, this is really cool. Apparently she has been able to handle threats like Brave Edelgard, Legendary Nana, Brave Erica's. Yeah, I think that's cool. I think she's a unit who does require a lot of investment, but if you do that investment, it is really good. Another option would be Trace, but Dive Bomb is quite good as well. And Swift Sparrow is good as well. You could also give her like a solo skill instead as the seal, but this is really good. Alright, from Platinum, we've got this Effie. Did I say doo-doo? My bad, guys, I didn't notice. But yeah, from Platinum, we've got this Effie. Platinum says, other than the low merge flower count, I am pretty content with this build. Yeah, I mean, it does the job, gets the job done. Oops, not back to Violent. If you want another inspiration for a Lance armor build, check out the Benny near the beginning of this video. I think it's an interesting choice, but I do think this is a better general purpose build. I think you could, yeah, really just work on getting the merges, I would say, and then she'll be golden. She's great. Yeah. Alright, on to Mackenzie. Mackenzie says, not a good investment at all, but it's a character I have a big soft spot for, so that justifies it. This is mainly an arena build. Yeah, I mean, you know, I've always been of the opinion that it doesn't matter if a character is good. If you like them, you should build him. Anyway. So, did I say him? I meant them. Sorry, guys. But really the only thing I would swap out here is if you ever do get the chance to get Arcane Sword, it would be so good on her. Like, it would really change her gameplay. I think it would make her a lot better. And I think it pairs relatively well with Dive Bomb too, with the guaranteed follow-up. And if you manage to swap the A skill as well to Attack Speed Catch, I think that would go really, really well with Attack Defense Menace. Hi, Rogelio! But yeah, I mean, aside from that, there's not really much more to say. I think this is very, very good. Alright, from Jessie, we've got this Lissa. Yeah, I mean, I like seeing far save Lissas. I think when she first came out, I wasn't 100% sure if she could be a good far saver, just because she can't run normal specials. She can't run, like, damaging specials at all. But I think this is quite a good build. They say they use her with Winter Lissa as a near saver. That's pretty cool. And yeah, they say they're waiting for a rearmed staff. I think that could be cool. Oh, they're also hoping for a new special for staves. I actually do think they might do that then. If they ever do a rearmed staff, they might actually release it alongside a new special or some kind of new healer exclusive thing. I think that could be cool. But yeah, I don't really know if I would change anything about this. You've got the Guard from Crafty Fighter. You've got Distant Defense 4, which neutralizes foes' buffs. Another option would be Unity, just to get rid of your own debuffs, but this is pretty good as well. So yeah, I mean, great job. Alright, from Kat. Kat says, I've been out of the game for a while, but this is my tank hybrid Arete. She's got debuff support and stuff. Mainly I was using Vika with Sabotage Attack. And now they're getting back into the game, so they hope to be able to use her on Aether Raid's offense. Ooh, I think as far as Aether Raid's offense goes, this is a really interesting build. I think the Trace is great. I would probably swap out the Seal, though, if you do want to go more offensive-oriented with her. I think, again, like Attack Speed solo, probably the best. And if you're going with the Vulture Tome, yeah, just make sure you have debuffs somehow. But you mentioned you are running her alongside debuffers, so I think that's really good. And yeah, if we ever get an Arcane Red Tome and you do feel like pulling for that, that could be good for her. Solo skills might not be the best for ARO. Maybe, but like I just don't really know what would be better. Because like if you're sending her off on her own to go attack stuff. Oh, Blade Session. That's a good point. Thank you guys for pointing that out. I don't know why I forgot that's a thing. I agree, Farron. She quite literally has, like, the most evil lady energy. Even, like, her art. Like, just look at that. She just looks like an evil lady. It's great. I haven't played Fate, so I don't know if she is, but I kind of just assumed she was, considering the way she looks. Alright, from Omega, we've got this Resplendent Seliph. They mention, only just recently got him to +10. I use him as a tank in Arena. I think this is great. I think Attack Smoke 4 is an interesting build for him. I actually never thought of that before, but I do think it's pretty good. I don't know if I would change anything else. Maybe not Bonfire. You could probably change his special. Especially if you're running him in Arena. Give him either Ruptured Sky or Ether, just because they score better. But I do think this is a pretty good general Seliph build. Man, the fact that infantry, Gen 1 infantry can get up to 25 Dragon Flowers now really just shows you how insanely far stat creep has come. Like, the fact that they can have that +25 and still many of them are not on the same level as like, modern Gen units who can only get 5 Dragon Flowers. Alright, from Rogelio, who was in chat recently, we've got this Cormag. So they say he needs help in setting up debuffs, but other than that, the Husbando destroys. Also, that's Carrot Tip Lance Plus. Thank you for pointing that out. I did not know what the Lance was, so yeah. Hey, Kev. I'm doing good. Just did a bunch of Black Friday shopping yesterday and today, so I'm broke now. How about you? Hope you're doing well with school and stuff. But yeah, I mean, I would probably swap out his seal. I don't think speed defense catch is that good. Maybe you could give him like a solo skill or a form skill or something. Oh, thank you guys for translating. How do you submit a unit? So basically, a day in advance, I will drop the link to the submission form. And unfortunately, I do have to cap the submission form at 70. And then we get about 80 submissions. Yeah, I just cannot do any more than that in one stream. So I guess, like, stay tuned for that if I ever do this again, which I will in the future, but I don't know when. But yeah, I do think this is a really good Cormag. The only thing I would probably change is the seal. Yeah. Oh, Cheryl, you speak Spanish too? That's cool. You and Blue should speak Spanish to each other. You don't actually have to. I'm just joking. Alright, from... Oh, okay. Rogelia's here. They say, I normally run it with Heavy Blade or Blade Session. I do think Blade Session would be quite good on him, yeah. Alright, from Absul, we've got this Libra. That's cool. Absul says, originally he had his PRF, but I used a simulation and this worked better. He's mostly used in Light Season and Chaos Season, especially when his gen is bonus. Oh, that's nice, Kev. I hope you have fun. Nieces and nephews are, in fact, cute. Also, Blue, even I can read that. You know, Storm Eagle, all I know is that means there is a something in my pants, and I don't know what gato is, so I don't know what that means, but if someone wants to let me know what that means, that'd be great. Cat! There's a cat in my pants. Cool. But yeah, I mean, okay, back to the Libra. I do think Arcane Downfall is a much better, like, weapon than his PRF. I do think his PRF is solid, but Arcane Downfall is better. Yeah, I mean, I kind of see what you're going with this, I guess, like a melee specialist, but if you do want to swap out the stance for something like a DC skill, distant dart, distant pressure, something like that, I think that could be good. Because you probably actually picked up, now that I'm thinking about it, you probably picked up distant stance alongside Arcane Downfall, right? So, yeah. That could work. But I do think this is cool. I do think Libra is somewhat underrated. So yeah. I'm gonna mute for a second as well, guys. I need to blow my nose. I'm, like, super stuffy right now. Alright, I'm back. Oh, you have the other tier 4 skills too. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if QR4 would be that good on him, especially if you're getting external null follow-up support, so I think maybe just Distant Stance might be a little bit better if you want to use him in both phases. You woke up congested and sneezing today. Honestly, guys, I don't know if this is just me, but in the winter season, I wake up, like, every morning with a sore throat, and I just, like, it takes me, like, an hour every day for my throat to stop feeling sore. Is that just me, or, like, is that common, or, like, is there something wrong with me? Should I get that checked out? I don't know. I don't want to Google it, because Googling symptoms is a rabbit hole that I don't like going down. But yeah, thank you for the submission, Absul. Alright, from Allison. Allison is one of the besties. We've got this Roy. Okay. So, this is a build. Yeah, I mean, I don't really have any suggestions. I think this is ideal. This is peak performance. Peak performance. Alright, let's see what chat is saying about symptoms. Our Orange says, me too. Mackenzie, I hope you feel better soon. Okay, apparently a fair amount of people have this too. You Google your symptoms and suddenly you're dying. Yeah, you know, I don't wanna do that. The air may be true dry, try humidifier. You know, Rabbit, I literally have a humidifier in my room, but I just never use it, so I should probably try that. That might help. Yes, me too, Ritsu. It's been about a month now. I just wake up all like throat hurty and congested sometimes. But for me, that's usually just because I'm allergic to my pet bunny, so I almost constantly have congestion. All right, from Gira, we've got this Veronica. Oh, this is great. You don't see her very often. But yeah, I mean, you know, I'm gonna change the song. I'm not feeling this. Okay. But yeah, we've got this Veronica. You don't see her very often because of Reinhardt's existence and a couple other blue nuke calves, but I do think it's cool to see, you know, Veronica fan actually building her. Yes, I have a bunny. I have a pet bunny. I absolutely adore her. And if you follow me on Twitter, I occasionally post bunny pictures if you're interested in seeing cute bunny pictures. But anyway, back to the Veronica. Gira says, I want Speed Smoke 4, but I don't have the fodder currently. You know, I don't know if I would recommend Speed Smoke 4 as someone who uses it on my New Year's Fafnir. It has not been worth the investment. I prefer running Menace on him. So I would probably just stick with the Menace. But yeah, this is kind of ideal build, really. It looks like you're going for a little bit more of a tanky build, actually, now that I'm looking at this, so maybe Speed Smoke 4 might be better than it is on my Fafnir. But yeah, this is really good. Blue Flame is, like, probably not the best option, so maybe something like Moonbow might be better, but I do really like this. Alright, from Gray, we have got this Corne, with Plegian Bow. Gray says, this build may seem weird, but he's a really good tank. He has Resist's dump stat, so he has problems facing magic units, but physical dealing units pretty much won't kill him. With the proper setup, he can get to 93 attack and 89 defense. I do think that is really, really cool. And if we ever get QR4 on another unit that doesn't require you to give up the Arcane Axe, I think this would be a really good unit for him. A really good build for him, QR4, because you mentioned in your description that he doesn't have any damage reduction. So yeah. But, yeah, Kevin points out you can't really follow up, which is a concern. That's true. You could give him the QR seal. Hi, Arata. Yes, your Jeralt was earlier in the video, if you want to rewatch the VOD later. Or you can even rewind now, I'm pretty sure. But yeah. Yeah, Attack Smoke is... I do think it would be good for him, but yeah, the Menace really, like, syncs well with his bow, so I would just leave it. Unless you have another way to get debuffs, I would just leave the Menace. But yeah, if you're using him as a tank, maybe hopefully we get QR4 on another unit in the future, so you can give him that, because I think that would really, really improve him. Aside from that, though, he does his job really well. I do even think, like, you could even get away with running, like, close reversal or something. I think he would just do really well against even melee defense hitting units. Or even close foil might work, actually, yeah. If you're specifically only using him against units who target defense. Close foil could be really good. Alright, from Ariha, we've got this Tiltyu. They're using this on their ARD. Infantry null follow-up is given by Raphael support as well as -2 cooldown on Ruptured Sky. Okay, that is pretty cool. That's great. Hey, Royal Knight. You didn't really miss much. Just a couple of interesting units. I mean, we saw a really interesting Roy who had a absolutely ideal build. And by that, I mean he was running, like, live for bounty or something. It was just a really funny meme build. But yeah, I mean, Cheryl says she has Wrath on the weapon, right? I actually don't know what's in her weapon. Okay, so I guess it is Wrath, because someone else has said that too. So yeah, I mean, that does synergize really well with this build. I don't know if I'd go with Deathblow. I'd probably run, like, if you're running her on ARD, something like Attack Speed 4 might even be better, like if you could keep her near the rest of the units. Deathblow isn't super helpful, especially since you can get a lot more stats from other things. Unity could also work, that's true, Kev, because a lot of people debuff attack and speed, so attack speed Unity could be really good. Also, Blade Session, yes. I don't know why I keep forgetting Blade Session is a thing, but you could definitely run Blade Session. Also, hi, Daniel. Hello from Canada, from me. Thank you for stopping by. Alright, from Jonah Alex CG, we've got this, Ashnard. And Jonah says, I want to change his A skill to Bracing Stance, maybe attack defense finish in the future, but for the moment I use Steady Stance 4 because of the guard effect. Yeah, I do think this is quite good. Like you mentioned, the A skill definitely has a little bit of room for improvement, especially considering that, like, you're only getting defense from Steady Stance 4. So if you do ever pick up another stance, that could work well for him. If you run him near other units as well, Defense Res Form could work. You could also give him Iote's Shield just to make him, like, completely immune to bows. But yeah, I still think he's a decent unit. Guard Bearing is another option, but I do think Trace is a very helpful skill to have. Oh, Arcane Sword! That's true. I forgot that was a thing. Thanks, Kev. I do think that would be quite good. Oh, does his weapon already give Iote's Shield? You know, see, this is why you guys are here, to fix my mistakes. And by mistakes, I mean the fact that I don't know so many of the older weapons. I just don't know what they do. Ignore that suggestion, please. Do not give him Iote's Shield. Thank you guys for pointing that out. But yeah, if you do give him Arcane Sword, like Kevin is saying, Iote's Shield could work, so I'm still technically right. Alright, from Eric, we've got this Elixia, and Eric says, will plus speed her with mangoes soon. Yeah, this is really good. I think this is like a budget Brave Claude. Not Brave Claude, I mean budget Summer Claude, because you obviously, like, don't have Kanto in the weapon like Summer Claude does too, but it's basically a blue Brave ranged unit. This is quite good. I don't really know if I'd change anything. Perhaps attack speed ideal 4 could be an option for C skill. I think that'd be really good, but speed defense rain is more than good enough. Also, yes, back to Ashnard. Farron is pointing out he might get a refine soon. I don't know when he's due for his refine, but yeah, I would say if it's within the next 6 months, or even, like, if it's within the next year, probably not really worth giving the Arcane Sword right now. Speed Defense Fartrace would be another option, yeah. But it is a more rare skill. You know, I do like Impact, though. I find myself going to Impact on my Summer Claude a lot more than Catch. Just because, like, I find that, especially against a lot of save tanks, he probably doesn't kill in 2 hits. Same with Alencia, and so being able to survive that can be helpful. But, I mean, this is still, like, quite good. You could go Catch, but I do like Impact personally. Alright, from Jimmy. We've got this Forest. So this is Jimmy's generalist build for use alongside triple support sets. Usually runs with mega buffs and debuffs, and can also run QR4 to break through no follow-up if fast enough, but usually outspeeding works just fine. So yeah, I mean, I think this is really good. I know you've invested a lot into your favorites, and Forest is one of those favorites, and it really shows. Yeah, not really much to say. Yes, Forrest said trans rights. But you know, all of these characters said trans rights, so. But yes, especially Forrest. I hope you equip him with, a pastel blue accessory, because then his color aesthetic is perfect. Alright, next from Pika. We've got their Matthew. And he just got a Resplendent. I do like his Resplendent. I like it more than his base art. And they said this is the leader of their funny dagger emblem team in Summoner Duels S. He's the captain, and you would be very surprised how many people underestimate him. He has infantry pulse support, so lethality is 2 cooldown. And since it's dagger emblem, everyone has lethality. So yeah, I mean, this is quite good. I think Flashing Blade is definitely, like, does he have, like, he doesn't have, like, a dive bomb like effect or anything, right? If so, like, I don't know if Flashing Blade is necessary, but I guess it's meant to get around units who have guards, so you can still trigger lethality. Because otherwise, like, lethality's down to 2 cooldown, and then you don't really need the Flashing Blade to activate lethality on the second hit. Yeah, Kevin mentions you could run an Ideal or a Unity, that could work as well. But yeah, if you find that, like, if the only reason why you're running Flashing Blade is to get around units who have guard, I would probably just swap it out for a stat boosting seal, because he kind of could use more stats. But yeah. Oh, also a rare shove user. Thank you for pointing that out, Jimmy. A very rare shove user. You don't see that often. All right, from Vaporox, who was here earlier, but I'm not sure if Vapo is still around. Oh, Sharina Lover is saying, use tempo in the B skill with the null follow-up seal. That is a really good point. I do think, like, a speed defense tempo would be really good. With null follow-up seal. Yeah. Hey, Damon. Kev says, I can't be together with a shove girl. I'm sorry. Well, good news for you. There are not many shove girls. In case y'all didn't know, I did a poll over on Twitter a couple days ago, which got like about 3,000 votes in it. I was asking what is the best assist skill, and reposition won with like 90% of the vote. It was just a reposition sweep. Like, not even close for anything else. But I will admit stuff like shove is quite good in Summoner Duels. Alright, so Vapo's Altena. So Vapo says, mostly used to combat the mid-speed units and will at some point be given a greater speed investment to allow her to make greater use of Wyvern Flight. But taking zeros for most physical units, including several archers, is just stupid fun. I think this is cool. I think attack speed 2, like, I don't know. And maybe, like, I know Fury does chip damage, but just something, like, running attack speed 2 just is kind of like a feels bad moment. Aside from that, you could give her attack smoke 4, but I know that's expensive fodder. But yeah. I think, I do like seeing Altena. I think she's a little bit underrated. I think she's actually quite good. Sorry, Ritsu. I couldn't fit all the assists in the poll, so I just went with the top 3 that I thought of. The fact that I forgot swap is what really stands out to me, like... But I mean, I don't know what I would have replaced instead of swap, but anyway. But yeah, no, this is a really cool Altana Vapo. I did not know you had her at plus 10, so thank you for submitting that. From Yoshinori, we have got another male Robin, like the one we had earlier. Running a less of a tanky build. This one's running like an offensive build. And they say they don't have speed res tempo, so they're currently running null follow-up. But yeah, I do think if you do manage to get tempo, I think it will be really good for him. And then null follow-up seal would be great. Bond 4, I guess if you're using him near other people, is pretty good. But you could also give him, like... Sorry, Bond 3. You could also give him attack speed form, or blade session, or whatnot, but I do think this is pretty good. This is quite good. I didn't realize his offensive stats could get that high. Drifting Grace is another option for the tome if you do have it. I think it might be a little bit better on him. Can a shove connoisseur and a drawback lover find each other in a world of reposition? The easy answer is no. Hi, Ray. Laszlo has not appeared yet, no. But yeah, I hope you're doing well, bestie. Alright, let's see. From Simjoa, we've got this Kana, male Kana. I think this is really good. I think Arcane Grima, again, just makes a lot of dragons very good. But yeah, not really much to say about this. I think maybe Defense Res Unity, if you have it, would be really interesting for him. Just because, like, to patch up, I know his res is already really good, but you're not really boosting it with anything else. It's just to make sure, like, you can get rid of res debuff. Something like attack res unity, defense res unity could be really cool. But I do think this is quite good. I also might swap Ether for something else, but I guess it's pretty good with the arcane weapon, actually, now that I think about it. Also, yeah, Time's Pulse, I would probably swap that out for something like Speed Smoke 4 could work. Yeah, I do think Speed Smoke 4 would actually probably be one of the ideal ones for him. Or a Menace, you could go with a Menace, but yeah, this is really good. Alright, from Ante, we've got this Erk. This is their first ever plus 10. And they say they still use him to this day, though not as much, and they're open to any skill suggestions. Alright, chat, we are going to suggest Tempo again. So I do think Tempo would be a really good B skill for him, and then give him the little follow-up seal. Defense Res Menace, I would probably also swap out for Attack Res Menace if you have it, because the Vulture Tome does work off of that. And maybe swap out the Push 4 for an Ideal instead if you have it. We do have it in the Divine Codes, so you could grab that from there. But yeah, super solid. Sucks that he doesn't have a PRF. Let's hope we get a good Arcane Tome. Ritzy says, I can't explain why, but I want to bully Erk. Alright, bye Cheryl. Thank you for stopping by and thank you for your submission. Okay, on to Franco, who is a fellow bestie. We've got this Ignats. We had one earlier too, but this is another one. And Franco says, I want to get Ignats ready for the holidays. I want to get him the best gifts. Any suggestions for a better build for him? What does Reindeer Bow do? Is that the attack defense unity one? I think so, if I'm remembering correctly. But I really don't, excuse me. I don't know if I have any suggestions. I mean, other than maybe giving him a floret, I think that would be a wonderful holiday gift. Oh, Reindeer Bow is the guard bow. Okay, so since you're running Kestrel Stance 3, you don't actually need guard in the bow. So yeah, I think you could literally just run with Ignats' default bow, or give him something else. Could be interesting. I don't really know what other bow options there are, though, now that I'm thinking about it, but I do think, since you already have Kestrel Stance, I would swap out the bow for something else. But aside from that, yeah, this is really good. Maybe just give him a floret and give him a different bow is really all I would say. Since you can't give him Hardy Fighter, this is the next best thing. Courtly bow, I don't know if that would be helpful considering he will probably not be getting doubled often. Because he is quite fast. Also, I'm gonna take a drink of water, y'all. My throat is, like, feeling ragged right now. Oh yeah, we have a Promi Sip emote now. I'm gonna drop that in chat real quick. Thank you, Ritsu. Excuse me. Alright, on to the next build from Zero. We've got Sigrun. This is a really cool build. I think... I'm not 100% sure what phase you're going with here. This sort of looks like mixed phase. Because you've got, like, the tanking skills like Distant Stance and Iot Shield, but then you've got Flow Feather, which I think is a player phase skill. Like, it... Let me double check what Flow Feather does real quick. Flow Feather. So it... If unit initiates combat, neutralizes effects that prevent units' follow-up attacks during combat, and also if unit speed is greater than or equal to foe speed minus 10, deals damage during combat equals, Okay, there's some damage reduction, but I just feel like this is really a player phase skill and the rest of your kit is enemy phase. So I would probably swap out Flow Feather. Cowgirl's Moo points out you could use Pegasus Flight. That is an option. I don't know if it's the best one, but it's a decent one for sure. Really your only other, like... Yeah, Pegasus Flight uses Visible Res, but her Visible Res is actually quite massive. Like, 47 is huge, so... I do think she is one of those rare users who could actually use Pegasus Flight relatively well. But you could also give her Guard Bearing. Aside from that, I don't really know if I would change anything. I think this is quite good. And obviously, if we get an Arcane Lance, I think that could be good for her too. Alright, from Mexi Pika, we've got this Stahl. So they say, thank God for rearmed weapon. I can start using him again after I had to bench him around book 5. Yeah, this is really solid. Really, like, the only thing that I'm noticing straight up that I would change right away is, first of all, the seal, attack smoke. Doesn't synergize super well with attack defense menace because you've already got debuffs. So I would recommend giving him, like, an attack defense solo skill instead. You could give him that, or attack defense catch if you wanted. And then as the B skill, I would give him a trace if you have it. I do think that would really improve his initiation. But yeah, super cool Stahl. I do agree that the arcane sword and arcane weapons in general so far have really helped give a new life to some of the older units who just did not have a good refine. Alright, from Esquero, who is a big Elincia fan. They have submitted their Summer Elincia. So I don't really have any suggestions. This is very good. Yeah, attack speed Oath 4 would be another option, but Menace is also very good. Yeah, this is pretty much ideal. Esquero, if you guys didn't know, is actually the one who does the unit builder. The Fae unit builder. He actually maintains that. He made it and he maintains it. So shoutouts to Esquero. He's awesome. He does a great service for the community ever since the old unit builder went out of service. Alright, from Pachimari, we've got Gaius. Yeah, I mean, this is really good. You could give him the tempo B skill instead and give him the null follow-up seal, but he does kind of have lower offensive stats, especially since you're running Flashing Blade 4. So I think Blade Session is more than good enough. And yeah, I actually think this works really well. With the Flashing Blade 4, you're charging lethality a lot easier. Yeah. Not much to say about this. I think it's quite good. Oh, hey, Gray. Glad you got to see your unit being reviewed, even if you had to rewind a little bit. But yeah, this is really good. If we ever get an Arcane Dagger, definitely something to look into. But, yeah. Thank you for the submission. Alright, from Chase Doodles, we've got Balthus. This is their +10 Balthus merge project. Hooray for arcane weapons because I can finally use this bad boy in arena and summoner duels now without him dying instantly. What would you recommend as a C-skill option? I kind of want to give him that extra boost in attack or defense, but I'm unsure what works well with the rest of his build. So thank you for your submission. C-skill, if you want to boost his attack and defense, obviously attack, defense, menace is a great, great option. You could give him... We don't have attack, defense, oath 4 yet, so that's not something that you could give him. So really just menace, yeah, I would say, if you're looking to boost his attack and defense. Pika saying you could wait for attack, defense, oath 4. Yeah, you could, but I don't think you need to. I think attack, defense, menace is relatively accessible, I want to say. Maybe? I could be wrong. I actually don't know who it's on, but if you do have it, I think it'd be a great option for him. Alright, on to Isaac's. Let's see what Isaac submitted. Isaac's Frederick. Isaac says, this is my awakening husband. His refine was so bad, so I'm glad Arcane Downfall works with a speed stacked Freddy. This is really cool, actually. I don't know if I've ever seen a speed stacked Freddy. Not sure what to make his special, so I've been running Gale Force instead of Ruptured Sky because I feel like the breath effect is wasted on a 1 cooldown special. Yeah, it does feel like the breath effect is wasted on the lower cooldown specials. So I think Gale Force is pretty good. I do think Arcane Downfall synergizes really well with that. And Flow Guard is a really good option for his B skill. It basically, with Arcane Downfall and Flow Guard and speed stacking him, he is basically like soft null follow-up, which is really awesome, actually. I think, obviously, since there is healing in Arcane Downfall, he's not going to be the greatest Wings of Mercy beacon on a Gale Force team, but I don't think that should stop you from using Gale Force. I think it's really good on him. Another option for the B skill, if you do find that Flow Guard isn't coming into effect too often, you could give him Trace, but you probably already have that on him with how much investment you have. So yeah, I would really maybe only swap out the seal for something like, if you're using him exclusively player phase, you could give him Blade Session or another catch or Inform or solo or whatever. But yeah, I did not know Freddy could get this fast, so thank you for showing me this. I love fast, slow units. Alright, from Akira. We've got this Soth, and Akira says this was one of their first ever +10 characters, and they absolutely love him. Yeah, I think, pretty simple but effective build. I don't really know how, Area of Effect builds work. Like, I've never been the type to use them often. So, I don't know if you would need something like Time's Pulse or Heavy Blade or whatever to help with this, but, assuming you don't have any problems charging your special, I think this is quite good. And yeah, the Life and Death synergizes very well with the Blazing Wind. But if you ever did want to do something else with Soth, you totally could give him like an Ideal, give him Null Follow-Up, and switch up the special as well. Alright, from Silent. We've got this +10 Henry. We had another one earlier, so this is the second one. And they say this is their favorite Gen 1 male unit in Awakening. Yeah, this is a pretty cool Henry. I definitely think you could change his seal. I think you could give him... Oh, his attack is so low. A 40 attack at +10. Oh, I'm so sorry, bestie. Okay, couple things. give him as many dragon flowers as you can spare, because I think that would help a lot. If you have an ascended floret, make him plus attack, because I think he would really love that. And as the seal, I would give him like an attack defense not ideal, catch, or the form. I think that would be really good. Yeah, or attack res if you want to boost his res more as well, because I do think he really needs more. He needs more attack. Ray says close reversal would be better. The less attack he has, the better. You know, I'm not sure I agree with that, but it's definitely an option. His Refine wants him to have lower attack than his foe. Like, yes, but like 40 is kind of pushing it. Like, everybody nowadays has way more attack than 40. I do think, like, as much as you want him to have lower attack, you could probably boost it a little bit more. You could probably still go a little higher than 40. Like, I get that you're doing damage with Ignis, but it would be nice to be doing a tiny bit of damage even without it. Exactly, Mackenzie. PRF can only get you so far. I agree. But no, I think this is really cool, and congrats on the plus 10. Sorry, I was just blowing my nose again. I'm feeling really congested. I maybe have a cold or something. Actually, I don't know if I ever told you guys, but I am one of those rare people who to this day has still never gotten COVID. And every time I tell people that, they're like, how did you do it? And I mean, as much as like, you know, I never went out super often, I definitely have like gone out during COVID. Tend to not be in like larger crowds and stuff though, and I still do wear a mask and stuff, but yeah, it definitely appears to be on the rarer side people who've never gotten COVID. Okay, maybe it's not that rare. You guys are all in chat like I've never gotten it either. Hey Shiny, your unit has been reviewed, so if you want to rewind, it is very close to the start. Okay, apparently none of y'all have ever gotten COVID either. Maybe it's just those of us who play Fire Emblem Heroes are less likely to partake in going outside. I'm joking. Probably. Maybe. Oh, Peak, I hope you feel better soon. Sorry to hear that. You know, I'm actually convinced that the fact that so many of you are saying that you haven't gotten COVID either, it's gotta be Faye. Faye is the common factor here. Anyway, on to the next build from Jin. So this is their Selena. They say this is the only tempo skill they had. They were wondering if godlike reflexes from Lyn and her speed smoke might help. Hey Sean, I think that Lilina build is amazing. Best Lilina build ever. But yeah, I mean, so is godlike reflexes worth it? I would say probably, but you would probably have to give her like shield pulse instead, or have some way to externally charge it, because you do want to have it charged. And yeah, as much as like tempo is good on her, speed res tempo obviously, that -3 res is not doing anything for you. And yeah, people are bringing up godlike reflexes is more of an enemy phase build, so you would need to change up your build. Yeah, if you gave her godlike reflexes, I would definitely not run Surge Sparrow on her. But I think this is pretty good as a player phase build. I would also probably swap out Blue Flame to maybe like Luna. Blue Flame isn't doing like too much for her, I would say, whereas something like Luna can help patch up the fact that she has like lower attack. Or, since her defense and res are so high, you could even technically go for like Bonfire or what's the other one? Iceberg. That's another option as well. Alright, on to Sen. This Linus. Sen says, you might remember me as the one with the New Year's Keaton last time. I've returned with one of my Axemen. This is my enemy phase specialized Linus build. He could run Null Follow-Up Seal and run Spurn, but I really want to get Godlike Reflexes for my ultimate build. I do think Godlike Reflexes is definitely an interesting option for him. You could give him Godlike Reflexes and then, like, Shield Pulse. Or, I mean, yeah, that would work, I think. And then, I don't know if he needs the Null Follow-Up Seal just because he's so fast. I think you're, for the most part, fine to go like this. And a lot of units have, like, external Null Follow-Up support as well. Especially for infantry units. But yeah, thank you for the submission. From Awesome Gold, we've got another Linus. Wow, 2 in a row. So Awesome Gold says, this is Mr. Max Invest Mad Dog of Illyve. With his infantry null follow-up and tempo support in Legendary Female Byleth. So yeah, I mean, null follow-up and tempo are great support for him. I don't know if I would change anything. I guess if you have the Arcane Axe for him, that could work. I don't know what Fanged Basilicos does. Let me check. So, Fanged Basilicos, accelerate special trigger at start of combat. If unit's HP is greater than or equal to 25%, grants attack speed +5 during combat. At start of combat, if foe's HP is greater than or equal to 75%, inflicts speed defense -5 on foe during combat, and inflicts penalty on foe's speed defense during combat equals current bonus on each of foe's stats ×2. So that's decent, I guess. But, I mean, yeah, I think you could actually stick with that if you don't already have Arcane Downfall. It's actually decent. And if you want to have Vital Astra activated right away, then you would probably want external special support from someone. Because as it is now, you only get it on the second hit. But I guess that's decent. But I like to have Vital Astra ready right away, personally. And yeah, I mean, Speed Defense Bulwark is good. You don't need the velocity or the tempo, since you said you already have the external support for that. So yeah, quite good. Alright, from PLL, we've got this Odin, who's about to get a Resplendent. And they say they are super excited for his Resplendent. Their goal for this build was for him to hit harder with constant specials and be fast AF. Wow, I didn't know his attack could get that high, considering every Odin I see has much less attack. So I do think, you know, it's nice that you got his attack high. But now that I'm thinking about it, like, with Life and Death 4, that's still relatively low. So I mean, Arcane Blue Tome is definitely going to really come in handy for him. The Resplendent's going to be great too. Cause yeah, like like Vapo says, you've ascended his attack, you've got Life and Death 4 and Summoner support, and it's still only 57, and some units just hit that at base. And I mean, if you're going with, like, Life and Death 4, I would maybe even consider an AoE build. Although now that I'm saying that, I just don't think his attack is high enough to do it, so maybe not. Yes, Odin's Resplendent gave some people Fafnir vibes. I don't know if you guys saw, I'm gonna link it now in chat. Magic is Broken, who is a fellow FEHtuber and one of my friends, she actually just did an edit of, you know, I'm not gonna link it, I'm just gonna show it up on screen, so y'all can see it. She did an edit of, Fafnir on, Odin. You guys see that? It's a little bit cut off just because of the way I have my stuff zoomed in, but, like, look how cool that is. That's super cool. Magic is just, like, so talented. Let me see if I can zoom in on this a little bit. Yeah. This is very cool. I just want to say, you know how we have some women in Fae whose dresses and stuff look like they're vacuum sealed onto their body? Well, his chest plate looks like it has vacuum sealed onto his abs. That was like the first thing I noticed when I saw the Resplendent art. But yeah. Yeah, so shoutouts to Magic. If you don't already follow her on Twitter, or subscribe to her on YouTube, you should. And we'll drop her link here. But yeah, back to Odin. Yeah, I mean, if you're not going with an AoE build, I would probably swap out his A skill for like attack speed ideal, honestly. Just because his defense and res are decent, so like I don't know if I would want to cut them down like this. All right, on to Elpis. I don't know if you're a Final Fantasy fan, Elpis, or if you just got that name from elsewhere, but if you are, shoutouts to you. So this is their Titania. So they say this is a player face focus build, works great despite her not so high attack, and Kanto is the cherry on top. And they say the only drawback is her weakness to follow-up denial. Yeah, I mean, an option would be to give her Seahorse Axe like you mentioned, or you could give her a skill like Flow Guard, or one of the other ones that have like no follow-up in them. But I know Trace is super useful. Aside from that, you mentioned that you might want to give her Arcane Downfall, but I think if you were to do that, it would probably completely change this build. Like, I think Pelagian Axe is better for what you're doing here. Arcane Downfall really does feel like more of an enemy phase axe, although of course you can use it for player phase as well. So yeah, I do like what you've got going on here with her. Alright, from Topher, we've got this Skahawk. So yeah, this is really, really interesting. I like this investment. Distant Stance is obviously useful. Mystic Boost 4 is very interesting. And I see Topher. Oh, hi Topher! Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, I really, really like this. I know, Topher, you've always got super unique builds for your units, and I like that you've, kept that up with Skahawk. Yeah, I mean, he doesn't even need... I was gonna say he's kind of slow, but Arcane Eleuthir just kind of fixes that. So, yeah, I mean, I like that you've res stacked him. I didn't realize his res could get that high. Yeah, I don't really know if I would change anything other than if you can get him Dragon Flowers. Maybe Joint Drive res is not like the greatest C skill either. I know it's like to boost his res, but you could give him like Attack Defense Menace to lower the foe's attack. Or, yeah, I don't really know. But I do really like this. Oath 4, yeah. Oath 4 could work. But right now we don't have Attack Defense Oath 4. But Attack Res Oath 4 could work, you're right. Just to boost his res even more. Kadomatsu could be nice. I'm not sure if I would recommend that over Arcane Eleuthir, but it's an option. But yeah, thank you for your submission, Topher. Alright, on to Doormat. Doormat Effie. So they say Seth was pushed off his horse when he got added, but then he got trampled by his horse when he got the weapon refined. So yeah, this is obviously a very solid build with the Arcane Eleuthir. You've got the solo, the trace. Hone Attack 4 is definitely the thing I would change. So Doormat did mention that they want to get him either Smoke 4 or Menace. So I do think Speed Smoke 4 actually could work reasonably well on him. Or a Menace, yeah. Attack Defense Menace, Attack Speed Menace I think could be great. And yeah, Speed Defense solo does work, but you just like attack speed solo might be a tiny bit better overall. But yeah, no, this is great. All right, we are down to the last 10, and I'm glad because we're getting to the 2-hour mark. All right, from Wyber, Eber. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. So Eber says he has equipped the Vulture Tome and Luna. And the assist is either Rally or Reposition, and he gets null follow-up from external support. So yeah, Vulture Tome, very good, goes well with his Menace skill. Luna's also pretty good. Moonbow might be a little bit better, unless you've got external special support from somewhere else. You could also give him, in his B skill, you could give him a tempo skill just to get around guard. I think that could be helpful. But yeah, this is really good. Yes, the Spanish community is popping off. I like seeing people build units who are not as common, and Peleus just has such nice art. Like, it's really, really nice art. It sucks that he doesn't have a PRF, so not that many people build him. Alright, from Christensen. Kristen just finished Bun Bun Luthier last week, and they're really happy with him. They'd love to give him the new attack speed trace sometimes, but otherwise they think he's perfect, and they mainly use him as PvE. So yeah, I mean, I don't know what Carrot Tip Spear does. Let me check. It is, at start of combat, if foe's HP is greater than or equal to 75% or penalty is active on foe, grants attack defense +5 to unit during combat, and unit's first attack during combat deals damage equals total attack defense penalties on foe. Okay, I kind of like that, actually. So maybe for the B skill, you could give him, like, Flow Guard or something. Just to have that guaranteed follow-up, but I do think this is really solid. Yeah, attack speed trace would be another option like you mentioned, but I do think letting him have, like, basically a guaranteed follow-up could also be really helpful. Blue is saying he can do a near-perfect Promise impression. Well, maybe, Blue, the next time we're on stream, you could do that. I'm gonna get you and Hunley to each do your best Promise impression, and chat can vote on who they think has a better one. Alright, on to Bridges. Brigand Boss. Very cool. Bridges says, I did this for the memes, and I regret nothing. He's still not complete because I lack attack, defense, menace, fodder at the moment, but he still does pretty well with this build. You know, Blue, if you can't even beat Hunley, then what's the point? SMH. I'm joking, by the way. I am very much joking. I think your Promise impression is great. But I do agree Hunley's is better. But yeah, Brigand Boss. Wow, this is great. Definitely got that, the special. We got the Arcane Downfall, we got the Distance Dance and the QR, all from, what's her name? Ganglot. I still don't know how to pronounce her name. But I really like this. I don't know if I would change anything. I think you're maybe kind of underestimating how good his speed can get. I think I would probably... I guess you've got the QR, so speed stacking is not necessary. Never mind. You're probably fine. You're probably fine as is. I would probably change his C skill to perhaps attack speed Oath 4 if you have it, or a Menace is better than Threaten. But yeah. Where's Brigand Boss's hairline? You know, he doesn't really have one. Thanks for asking. It's apparently pronounced Gangloo? Gangloot? Gangloo? I don't know. Either way, I'm not saying that. I think Ganglo sounds the best, personally. Alright, on to Hema. We've got this Aversa. We love a slay girl boss queen. That is, like, the definition of Aversa. Gonglo? I'm sorry, guys. Y'all will not catch me pronouncing things correctly, like, ever. I'm so bad at pronouncing things. But anyway, Aversa. Yeah, this is pretty much exactly what I run on her in Arena, aside from the fact that I run Speed Preempt on her, just as a flex, because I have it, but I do think this is kind of the ideal Aversa Arena build. Maybe, like, if you are running her in Arena, obviously give her a high-scoring Seal and Special, but aside from that, 10 out of 10. Love it. Vapo, I see you, and I don't know if I agree, but thank you for the energy. Alright, from Prey, we've got this Pumpkin Smasher Dorcas, who you don't see very often. But I think I remember, guys, I used to be a massive Dorcas fan, and this is like deep Promise lore in the sense that Promise Me One Thing did not exist back when I was a Dorcas fan. I just... So when his alt was announced, if you were in the Fae community, everybody was popping off because he was kind of like a meme character for the longest time. Like, you know, I don't know if you guys know, but the reason why he got in the game is because he was like a meme. Something about like poisoned mutton that just like became a big meme because I think it was some kind of Fire Emblem ad. And so the community memed him so hard that he placed extremely high in CYL. So yeah, when he actually got an alt and it looked super cool, the Fae community was popping the heck off. Like, just popping off. So anyway, I was very excited. I ended up not building him because I just didn't know what to do with him. This was way before save skills existed. What happened to Dorcas? Yes, that was part of the meme as well. If you guys are truly curious, just Google, like, Dorcas meme. I'm sure it'll come up. But yeah, there's a lot of lore there. And Ipe just does such a great does such a great job drawing his art. But yeah, I mean, let's actually take a look at the build. They say they use Kaden support for guard. Yeah, that's really good. He's so fast. When did he get that fast? I mean, wow, like, that's really... I didn't know he was fast. But anyway, I would probably swap out speed res form with defense res form. I know his defense is already really high, but I don't really know if you're getting much out of that 7 speed, just because you already have the guaranteed follow-up with Slick Fighter, and you have Arcane Downfall for follow-up negation. So I would probably use defense res form, yeah. You outspeed Brave Celis with him. You know, I'm not sure that's true, but I appreciate the energy. But anyway, no, this is super cool. Thank you for the submission. Okay, last 6, guys. We got this. I'm going to take a quick drink of water, and then we will finish this out. Also, I'm just going to say it right now. KCB Brian, if you guys don't know him, but of course you do know him, he is a fellow FEHtuber, and he is currently doing a week-long subathon, in the sense that he is streaming non-stop for a week. So if you guys want some more Fae entertainment after this, he is still currently streaming. So yeah, you should check out his stream. I will leave a link to it after, but I'm just gonna say it now. Because he is a bestie. Brian is great. Alright. Now from FIFO, we've got this, oh, I don't know why it's not downloading properly. Okay, I can't actually open this. It's some weird file type, so I'm sorry about that, FIFO. It's trying to download something on my computer, so I'm not gonna try opening that. But FIFO says it is a generalist speed Balthus, and they're running Fury on him. So if you guys just want to imagine Balthus, what he might look like. Sorry about that, FIFO. I don't know, something happened with the format. What file format is it? It is unknown file type. Yeah, it's a URL. Wait, can I just try opening it here? Oh, it's a Discord link. Okay, it's a Discord link. That's so weird. But anyway, we did get it here. We did figure it out. So yeah, I mean, thank you for the Discord link. Sorry that it seemed like you were trying to give me a virus. But no, I really like this. I would probably only swap out, Fury 3, with, like, attack speed, or, like, attack res. I don't know. His attack is already really high. I see you're going with a speedy build, but you also already have QR4. So, like, I don't really know if you need to stack his speed more. But, You could also change his C skill to attack speed Oath 4 or a menace skill. But yeah, I think it's really flexible what you would do, what you could do. I would probably just swap around the Fury because the chip damage isn't the greatest. Especially considering you already have chip damage from distant pressure. Alright, from Wanxine, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name. I don't really know how to say it. So they said this is not their best Farsaver, but their seasonal deer emblem wanted a Farsaver to go along with Near Save Winter Hilda. So yeah, I think this is really solid. I think you could definitely stand to make his speed a little bit higher. Like I see you're stacking his res and defense a lot, which is great, but I think he needs probably a little bit more speed for that Savvy Fighter check. So maybe you could give him a different unity that has speed in it as well, or a seal that has speed in it. But other than that, super solid. Every Ignats we've seen today has had Savvy Fighter. I really wish it was more accessible though. Like, it's just so rare. And next from Tony, we've got this Roy, Young Lion. They say they're waiting to get trait fruits so they can change his boon to plus speed, but the idea here is to make him as speedy as possible while still having enough bulk and attack to fight against anyone. Yeah, I think Roy's one of those units who Arcane Eleuthir really revitalized them. I don't think he was very good before that. Aside from that, I would probably swap out Lull Attack Defense. Maybe you could give him like a speed-based damage reduction skill like Velocity or Tempo, or Bulwark could work as well if you have that. But Lull Attack Defense is a good, more budget option. Yeah, this is really good. Alright, from Skinny, we've got this Pella. I like this. Again, Pella's a unit you don't really see very often. So yeah, I would probably give her Arcane Eleuthir if you have it. I do think it would be a lot better than White Wing Blade on her. But I do think this is pretty good. Yeah, aside from giving her the Arcane Sword, I'm not really sure if I would change anything else. Maybe, I was gonna say you could speed stack her, but actually if you're running Arcane Eleuthir, you don't really need it, so yeah. But White Wing Blade is pretty good as well if you're running a lot of flyers alongside her. Alright, from Crossfighter, we've got, this is the second last one, we've got their Itsuki, and then Crossfighter says, now that Itsuki is confirmed in Fire Emblem Heroes, I've always wanted to build him for a long time. I like his friendly personality and his character design, and his performances in Tokyo Mirage Sessions, one of my favorite RPG games. So yeah, I mean, I think this is really cool. I think Mirage Falchion is going to get a refine relatively soon, so I'm not going to give like too much build advice because like it's going to depend on what the refine is. But I definitely think the C skill you could probably upgrade a little bit. But even then, maybe it's just worth holding on to see what his refine is going to be. Because maybe you might want something like Attack Smoke 4 on him, if you ever get it, but Rough Speed Defense is decent. You could also give him a Menace, but I think for now, like until he gets his refine, this is really good. And then finally, the last one from Storm Eagle. We have got Raven. So after all the Linuses today, we finally get to see Raven as well. So Storm Eagle says, my new and improved Terminator Raven, complete with the sunglasses. A and B slots will be swapped over to attack speed finish and speed defense bulwark when the game feels like throwing me a bone. I do actually like Spurn on him, so I don't know if I would give him bulwark instead. I do like that damage reduction. But yeah, attack speed finish I do think would be a big upgrade on him. Yeah. This is a very solid unit. I think Arcane Downfall is great. Definitely helps him be more tanky, and you're just gonna have so much healing with that Arcane Downfall and the finish. Yeah, lots and lots of healing. This is a great build. And honestly, he is one of my favorite resplendent arts in the game. Like, Niji Hayashi, who drew this art, also drew New Year's Fafnir, also drew Ascended Ishtar, and a couple of really other nice arts. Yeah. I think they have some of the best art in this game. Ritz is saying, where is Mystic Boost Seal and Mystic Boost 4? Yeah, I mean, you could do that just for the meme, but it's probably not worth it. But yeah, that was the last unit. Oh my gosh, guys, we've been here for so long. But thank you all for stopping by. I know it's been a while since we last did one of these. It's been like a month. I've just been so busy. Work just really like makes you not want to do anything having a full-time job. So I've just been so lazy and tired, but glad to do another one of these and hoping to do another one soon-ish. But yeah, thank you guys so much for stopping by. And if you didn't get to submit your unit, sorry about that. Hopefully you will next time. But yeah, thank you guys so much for coming, and check out KCB Brian's stream going on at the same time now if you want more unit review Fae content. But if not, have a good night, everybody, and I will see you guys next time. Bye, everyone!